Okay, so it looks like we got some people joining, so I think we're gonna start the workshop now. To give a little bit of introduction, this presentation or this workshop is focused on promoting college education, specifically in the fields of STEM. We're gonna go over the slideshow. In the slideshow, we're gonna go over kind of introducing our message, why it's important to pursue STEM, kind of explaining the fields of interests, including all the different fields of science, technology, engineering, and math. We're going to be talking about some of the benefits of STEM education and kind of how to connect STEM career pathways from everyday interests. So since this target audience is also middle and high schoolers, we're going to be going over some high school core classes that relate to your STEM interests or majors in the future. We are also going to provide some job statistics on salaries and earnings in the fields of STEM, and giving an outline of kind of how to take the initiative to pursue STEM education, especially in college. And we have resources on financial aid and on college majors that we will be sharing. So, to next slide, please. So to give a little bit of introduction, we're all from Martin Luther King High School. My name is Caden. I'm an 11th grader, and my major interest in STEM kind of come from my background, especially growing up. Um, I loved building Legos growing up, which kind of influenced my kind of interest in STEM, and that led on to now me being interested in studying electrical engineering in the future.
Hi, my name is Francisco Zaguirre. I'm also an 11th grader at King High School, and my interest for STEM really comes from like my family. I'm surrounded by engineers, so one day I aspire to be an engineer as well, mostly focused in the field of aerospace engineer.
Hi, I'm Zoe. I'm also a junior at King, and my interest in STEM also came from my parents, and both of them really raised me to be very interested in STEM. And my major focus is on chemistry research.
Hi, I'm Mark Gonzalez. I'm also a junior at King, and my interest in STEM comes from my dad, as he was like a carpenter, and he introduced me to a lot of topics in like construction and things like that that involve building and like the whole process of engineering and working with a group. So he's taught me like the importance of STEM and how it's used every day.
Yeah, so okay. We're gonna start with next slide. So kind of to start off, like what is STEM in general? So the field of STEM is essentially the fields of science, technology, engineering, and math, and they include many different career pathways in terms of science, specifically where science where we explore the natural world through topics such as biology, chemistry, and physics. In terms of technology, it's anything focused on innovation. So anything from the new MacBook to new ChatGPT AI software all involve technology focus. And engineering is a very broad field that includes many subtopics of engineering. And engineering focuses on different scientific principles to help us build and innovate new structures to help improve our society. Mathematics is very straightforward, just a problem using problem solving through mathematics. So in terms of the fields of STEM, is a very broad topic. Anything you're interested in is likely going to fall under this field of STEM. Anything from science to mathematics can help bring you new opportunities in your future, specifically in college education, which we want to focus on, which is why we want to motivate you to go into STEM is to focus on a new career in higher education and college. So I know college may be like scary or intimidating for a lot of people, including myself, and it also may seem like a challenge or something that may not is optional. Obviously, going through 4 more years of education may not be for everyone, but we want to encourage as many people as possible to pursue college education because it truly opens up new opportunities in your future. It truly gives you a new step in any direction you're interested in and offers the kind of a stepping stone to pursue a career that you are interested in and is financially stable. So kind of to give reasoning on why you should choose STEM specifically to pursue in college is, first of all, STEM careers are in very high demand. So in various industries, any industry, STEM jobs are in very high demand, and we are constantly looking for the next engineer or scientist to join the workforce to bring new opportunities to this field. STEM research and technology is going to forge the future, and it allows people to innovate and create new designs and new technologies to improve our society. Additionally, the fields of STEM offer a great job stability, meaning that the jobs that are offered in the field of STEM offer long-term and competitive salaries, meaning that the pay and both the work-life balance and the pay would be very stable and would give you a good step into your future. Additionally, STEM professionals and careers often require large amounts of innovation and creativity, which is essential and something that very helps us develop into better humans, because innovation and creativity is how we invent new technologies. Like, for example, the iPhone would never have been invented if, Steve Jobs had not gone on to innovate. So just any of the new next generation of technologies require us as STEM pathway careers to use innovation and creativity to problem solve. And like I mentioned before, STEM shapes the future, right? Like any innovation regarding technology, such as AI, all step off of STEM. And anything from medicine to AI to sustainability of the future of our globe all require STEM. So to give a summary, STEM careers truly improves lives and it allows us to solve real challenges in our world, such as climate change, infrastructure, healthcare. And STEM careers not only make a lot of money, but they benefit all parts of society. So kind of to move on, to give a little bit of why STEM occupations and careers is very competitive. So as we can see from this graph, stemming from the year 2021, STEM careers are predicted to increase at a much higher rate than others. And the growth in this field is truly inspiring, which is why it's very important that we encourage more people to pursue in this specific field.
Okay, so as Cadence previously mentioned, there are many career pathways that are from STEM, and these careers are often in high demand with high success rates, as well as personally, some people they're really well paying, so that's why they might choose to go into STEM. However, there are many benefits of STEM education. So aside from these STEM career pathways, STEM education actually cultivates many important life skills, including problem solving and critical thinking. These skills include reasoning, creativity, and decision making. Additionally, STEM education also fosters innovation, preparing individuals to improve technology and systems. And STEM is the future, and it's everywhere around us. These STEM skills can help us better understand our daily lives and help us make better decisions when it comes to any problem that we have in our life. So here is just some of the ways that your everyday interests could be leading to STEM careers. So STEM influences all around us, from the video games you play to the food you eat. For example, if you're interested in video games are designed from game development involving the work of many coders. If you're interested in the beauty of nature, scientists in the field of environmental science aim to preserve nature from societal damage. STEM fields are directly applicable to everyday life, as we have mentioned many times. Agricultural scientists optimize growing crops based on studies from weather patterns and seasonal changes. So to give a little insight of technological innovations that you guys might be familiar with, For example, the Nintendo Switch or amongst other video games, these have involved many engineers and coders to create. The AirPods are an innovation that engineers have, that is example that engineers work on, and futuristic things such as the idea of drones. So here is a more detailed chart of like what you're interested in and the careers that you could lead to. For example, personally, I am more interested in research science, and these are like the examples of careers that I could stem off into, including being a researcher or a laboratory technician. I know friends who are interested in the medical field, and aside from being a doctor, there are various other career pathways that you could go into.
Yeah, and then in high school, this is like your main chance and opportunity to explore these areas of STEM and like have your first introduction into many different fields, such as the sciences and maths and engineering. And within high school, there's a sorry, sort of progression that there is with prerequisites. How you are an example we have here is like from biology to AP biology, where you're learning more advanced topics as you like improve and develop skills in more fields and take on additional like information that's more advanced. And these more advanced topics, such as APs, offer special opportunities such as college credit or GPA boosts that are important to get into like better schools to hopefully improve your chances of pursuing STEM in the future. And then the sorry, certain graduation requirements also involve math and science, which further proves the importance of pursuing STEM focused classes because taking them currently in high school will improve your skill set to advance in the future. And schools offer variations of classes, so it's important that we take advantage of the certain STEM fields that there are, since some schools, depending on their size, can offer various classes that are different from others and offer prerequisites that are like varied throughout. And then this is the chart of the A through G requirements for UCs and Cal States. And right here, we want to emphasize like the the use of mathematics and sciences, how 4 years are recommended of math and 3 years are recommended for science. And that extra year of recommendation further shows the implications of utilizing STEM throughout high school, since besides foreign language, this is the only other subject in school which is recommended we take another year, since STEM and these like STEM fields like math and science are always used throughout our education. And for college within the STEM fields, we're just trying to prove the point to explore your interests and take advantage of these early steps in high school, and don't like accept the easier classes. We want to like encourage challenging courses within APs and honors, because these classes are what helps you find your boundaries and find what your interests are within the STEM fields, because these classes offer challenges that are different and allow you to build your skills. Additionally, the paths within the different majors within the STEM fields are like very varied, I guess. There's a wide range within engineering and healthcare. There's a lot of fields to take advantage of. Like in engineering, you have mechanical and electrical and stuff like that, where there's different subjects within engineering. And healthcare, you could go into different fields where you're helping animals or people or developing medicines. So there's a lot of things to take advantage of.
Yeah, so adding on to a little bit of what Mark said on the previous slide, we really want to encourage you to take as many challenging classes in high school as possible because, for example, taking APs, allows you to even skip some classes in college. For example, AP Calculus or AP Physics allows you to skip like introductory classes in college that may result in you graduating college early, for example, in 3 years, or you could even save time and money by saving those classes and taking them in high school. So there's actually a lot more reasoning behind why to take these harder classes, because not only does it help you become a more competitive applicant to college applications, but it also allows you to save money in the long run. And even on top of that, for example, in calculus, I've had a lot of friends that have taken calculus in high school, and I've known people that have taken calculus in college. And they've often mentioned that it's a lot easier to learn the content in high school because of the smaller class size and the teachers being able to help you more directly on one-on-one scenarios as compared to lectures in college. So it's actually very important to take as much challenging courses in the fields of STEM as possible in high school.
Yeah, and to further add on, here we have the different pathways that one could take within STEM. This is the bottom right sequence shows the mathematics, and basically we're demonstrating the wide variety of choices that one has when choosing STEM, because you could go into business or calculus or statistics, and these are like all very important subjects that have a lot of opportunities within the real world with lots of job opportunities. And this is just math. With sciences, you have all the different subjects such as physics, chemistry, and biology, or there's other ones, sorry. And all of these have their certain pathways where one can build their skill set and further translate their STEM knowledge into a career that could support them financially in the future.
So the question is, why should I get a STEM degree? Well, first, STEM is a very, again, to further hammer the nail, it's a very diverse field. So whether it's in engineering, the medical field, or even research, STEM will always allow you to get your first step into this competitive field. So to further expand on that, it's very flexible, even though it's such a competitive field. Once you get your STEM degree, you can always pursue further education, such as your doctorates or your master's program. And then if that's not for you, you can always go straight into the workforce, such as your engineers or anything that really interests you in STEM. So in the end, a college degree is always a long-term, it's a long-term commitment. So you want it to pay off, obviously. So STEM careers offer that stability that is not always guaranteed in other fields. And STEM is always a growing field. There's always going to be an opportunity there. Now, knowing that STEM always has had higher salaries, STEM professions tend to offer more competitive pay than other fields, making them, in the end, financially rewarding. And STEM, again, is impactful. It's the future of our world, and STEM fields continue to make a meaningful difference in our world. So again, any commitment in college is a difficult choice to make. In fact, a lot of factors are in play. However, financials should never limit or hold someone back from pursuing a STEM career. So there are many scholarships offered to not only foster youth, but anyone pursuing college. So a first one is your FAFSA. It's a general federal aid, and it's offered to everyone and anyone. Another scholarship is the Brand Source Scholarship. It's $11,000, and again, it's just another means to getting into STEM. Then there's the Orangewood Foundation Advanced Studies Fund, or ASF scholarships, and it depends on how your need is. However, it's another great opportunity for not only foster students but youth in your community to pursue college education. Sorry. And then there's the David E. Baller Scholarship, which is a scholarship award of $10,000, and it will be dispersed directly to a qualified educational institution in 2 equal payments of $5,000, distributed across at least 2 academic semesters. And all these links will be provided in the comment section down below. So again, here is a long list of these scholarships. Again, the link will be provided to you. So, like I said, financial aid is always going to be an offer. Your financials should never be holding you back from pursuing that STEM career. So, your opportunities, especially as a foster student, will always be they're always going to be there for you, because in the end, it's difficult to get your first step into STEM, and all the help you could get is going to really matter, especially when getting into this field. So, a STEM degree and STEM in general, it's networking and mentorship are obviously 2 very key aspects, not in just STEM, but any career and any profession. So there are STEM clubs and organizations that may be offered by your school, and it not only deepens STEM interest outside of the classroom, but it also allows you to build key important skills that are necessary for any career, such as learning how to speak to colleagues, learning how to speak to interviewers. Like, these are key skills built through STEM. And again, like, it's hard, especially since it depends on what your school offers. So another possibility is to take initiative and take your own first steps to creating your own club, because yet again, there's going to be, STEM is such a broad field. There's going to be others like you that are interested in STEM. So maybe be that person that creates that opportunity for someone else. And then just to show off, I want to show something from engineering. A club that I'm on is a robotics club, and I want to show off our notebook, kind of to show like the skill, how like how this club really helped me develop like these skills, to say.
Yeah, so like Frankie mentioned, clubs are incredibly important for kind of to help develop your passion for STEM, and robotics is kind of a main reason why that we kind of wanted to pursue engineering in general, because for the past almost year, we've worked on building an actual robot in this program called VEX Robotics, which is something that you as students at different high schools can look into joining or starting. And this opportunity is really great because it not only provides you hands-on experiences with engineering, but it gives you so many skills, like Frankie mentioned. For example, through this program, we had to learn how to use CAD 3D modeling, or we had to learn how to code through C++ or Python. So these clubs and opportunities are just very crucial in your development in pursuing STEM in higher education, because not only do colleges love to see your activity and involvement in different programs such as robotics, right? But these clubs also give you like real world skills that you need in the future. So Frankie can kind of walk us through like the VEX Robotics notebook to show like different aspects of engineering that we had to go through.
So again, VEX Robotics, the club in general, really taught us skills like meeting a deadline, because we had hard deadlines that we had to complete our notebook by. And again, it's a really stressful aspect of it, but it helped build the discipline that we need to not use in only STEM fields, but any field in general. So you could see like how Kenny was talking about before, like these CAD designs, like it really just like displays like the rigor. Not only is it rigorous, but like the skills that were built throughout the whole club. So, and then you could see how it like builds skills such as documenting key information in actually like label sorry, I'm a loss of words, I'm sorry about that, but it builds the skills needed to actually document what is needed from any career, such as like documenting like our Mogo Mech build, like the whole process that goes into it. And not only did VEX Robotics build these skills, it also built teamwork, it built trust, it built commitment in us. Like these skills are necessary for any field and any career that interested, not just STEM fields.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so we would, really like to encourage you guys to join any clubs you can. Not only like robotics, for example, but any clubs, STEM clubs in general, for example, like science fair or like science Olympiad, right? These clubs give you a great edge not only to your future in college, but it also gives you great experiences. Like, for example, like Frankie mentioned in Vex Robotics, we learn how to code, right? Which is very crucial to any field of software engineering. Or we learned how to 3D model, which is incredibly important to civil engineering or architecture. So these clubs are just great opportunities to expand your interest and your experience in fields of science, technology, engineering, and math. So, Zoe, could you present the slideshow? Yeah. So, like we mentioned before, right, STEM really offers real-world applications. To give some examples of what STEM has done to progress our knowledge of the universe. For example, the NASA's Perseverance rover, which was deployed in 2022, was built fully through the fields of technology, engineering, math, and science, because engineers and even computer scientists, right, they had to work together to be able to successfully assemble and launch and deploy this rover onto another planet thousands of miles away. So the amount of teamwork and science required to be able to accomplish this task is really inspiring, because just looking at the like complicatedness of this rover, like even compared to our Vex Robotics, our robot from Vex Robotics, it's really inspiring to be able to see the outcome of STEM, and to see how it can help us truly bring change to the world, because this rover is very crucial in developing our knowledge of Mars. And this is something that's like really motivating and like far out, but like us as students that hope to go into STEM, we can use these real world developments in STEM as motivation to hopefully one day be able to go into a career to be able to contribute to these developments. And like even looking at these pictures, you can just tell the amount of collaboration, the amount of engineering, the amount of math required to be able to, like with no human involvement, be able to take this rover, load it into a rocket, and physically launch it with no human involvement and drop it onto the surface of a planet that's thousands of miles away. So that's really a big, inspiring journey that STEM can bring us. So, kind of to give more examples of innovations that have resulted because of STEM. So, there's this concept called CRISPR gene editing, which is a field more towards biological sciences or chemistry that essentially will one day allow us to be able to edit genes in humans and potentially solve, genetic diseases or modify the genetics problems that we have to this world. And this is like really important because thousands of people each year, or millions of people even, right, through the past and through the present, have had so many issues or problems because of genetic disorders or just things that they cannot control. But through STEM, through engineering, through science, we're able to bring an opportunity and potentially find a solution to solve these issues, such as genetic diseases. And that's really inspiring because we're directly impacting human lives on a real scale. Through engineering and through science, we're able to solve problems in the real world and just bring a solution to these real world issues. Additionally, like quantum computing, for example, is very important because it's also another example of, engineering, right? It allows us to bring the next generation of computing, which can also solve, real world issues and can change how how the future of our world is going. So, the picture on the bottom left is a renewable rocket from SpaceX, and this is like a great demonstration of aerospace engineering, like Frankie mentioned before, that he wanted to go into. This is like just if you think about this rocket, it's very far out and far-fetched to be able to think that us humans, are able to build a machine of this magnitude to be able to go into space and exploration. But each of these SpaceX engineers had to go through the same pathway that we're going through high school, going through college. So just looking at the product of these results gives us motivation to potentially pursue, different fields of engineering to one day be able to contribute to, fusion energy or even autonomous vehicles and Tesla vehicles, being able to develop cars that can drive themselves, which is truly like changing our world as we know it. Yeah, so I know we've talked about a lot of, far-fetched futuristic ideas, but there's many steps we can take as students to, continue to go into this field of STEM. For example, like we mentioned before, taking classes, right? Taking not only is it important to take classes you're interested in, but you should take classes that help prepare you for your future. For example, classes such as physics, chemistry, engineering, math. These not only help you in the real world, but they help you get started into your next future in STEM. And like we mentioned before, STEM clubs and competitions are very important, such as, robotics competitions, coding competitions, science fairs, math leagues. These may seem challenging or maybe something that might be intimidating to get started with, but these are truly helpful and help you follow your passion and help you develop skills, like we mentioned before. Like from robotics, for example, we were able to develop skills such as computer programming or 3D computer modeling. So our biggest recommendation and suggestion is to build in strong academic plan in high school. So commit yourself to take as many, advanced classes as you can to not only grow academically, but to help prepare you for your future in college, because it's through these AP classes, these IB courses, even dual enrollment at local community college. These not only help boost your chances at being admitted to college, but they also build a strong, plan for your future, because these classes help you develop your interest and help you figure out what you want to do in the future. And, as foster students, there's not a lot of support and mentorship available. There's school counselors, teachers, there's many even professionals in the field that can help you. So just don't be hesitant to reach out, ask for help, ask for support, because in the end, we're all trying to bring more attention to this issue and help bring more students to be able to go into higher education and go into STEM.
So we've talked a lot about the benefits of STEM education, why you should pursue a STEM career, and the benefits of getting a STEM degree. But then the question remains, how do you find what STEM field that you'd be passionate in? So aside from the classes you take or the various classes that are offered at your school, many organizations will offer college and career fairs to get to know various different colleges and career pathways. For example, RUSD hosts an annual college and career fair every year around fall. Last year was in September, so I would suggest to keep an eye out for the dates because they have not released that yet. But it is a really good opportunity to get to talk with professionals in their real careers and different colleges and ask about like their majors, for example. Additionally, you should do your own research to find what you're interested in. STEM field is a very, very diverse field ranging from engineering, medicine, technology, and environmental sciences. So you should do your own research to see what you would be interested in. And you should also learn to gain a hands-on experience we'll talk about in the next slide, looking for internships, mentorship programs, and STEM workshops to build real-world skills. So there are many opportunities for you that will help you expose yourself to different STEM fields. There are many summer programs that you can participate in. Particularly, one program I want to talk about is the STEP Summer Conference program hosted here in Riverside every summer and fall. So this program is free and allows you to explore a variety of different STEM fields. And I know in this particular, during the summer in particular, you get together with a team and you compete for different scholarship prizes. So it's a very fun STEM learning experience that helps you build skills such as collaboration and problem solving and creativity. And we posted the information to the STEM Summer Learning Labs in our chat. And Okay, so for us, there are many role models in STEM that have paved the pathway in these STEM fields. So I wanted to show some examples. So Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson, these three, oh, these three, these three women were trailblazing NASA mathematicians who played a crucial role in early space missions. So the story of these three women became prevalent after the release of the hit movie Hidden Figures, which, as the movie title suggests, they were often not given credit, especially at the time, for their role. The film highlights some of the struggles these women had to endure while working for NASA, which was male dominated at the time, which is very like our STEM fields today. Even now, women are at a disproportionate advantage, especially in the fields of engineering and physics. So these three women, particularly, their calculations helped put a man into orbit around Earth, and they all worked at NASA when the first man landed on the moon. Another inspiring person would be Dr. Mae Jemison, who was the first Black woman in space, a physician, engineer, and astronaut who continues to inspire future generations today. So for me particularly, these stories are a classic breaking barrier story. And for me, these people are inspirational only because I have seen the disproportional advantage that women are when it comes to STEM. Even in my classes, there are way fewer girls in it than there are boys. So I just find them very inspiring.
Yeah, and with the future of STEM, we just want to emphasize that STEM is constantly growing and expanding at an alarming rate. And especially in today's world where we have things like AI and quantum computing that are like becoming very big topics and taking over like the mainstream pretty much, where AI is used every day by almost all people and becoming a really important and essential tool for a lot of people and jobs, where they're using AI learning to help them gain knowledge and gain these skill sets that are usually hard to attain without AI. And with new careers, there's lots of new innovations, like space exploration is becoming more realistic and in advancing into various fields that humans aren't usually known to go to. This prospect of discovering new areas is becoming more realistic with the innovations in STEM. And cybersecurity and the whole use of the internet is becoming more and more prevalent in everyday life as people are constantly online with the use of technology and how people use it every day to connect with one another. And the use of social media and all these online platforms are really helpful for everyday life as people are able to interact with one another despite being separated physically, along with the different careers and like fields within STEM, such as bioengineering and climate tech. These things are becoming really important to solving real world issues like like healthcare problems and developing new medicines. Like we've just seen with the pandemic recently, like developing the vaccine to prevent further expansion of the harm that could hurt the population as a whole. So STEM is really, really important to the future, and it becomes is continuing to grow as a whole as we use it more and more every day. And as a whole, we're just trying to explain the message that using STEM is really important. We encourage all of you to set your own goals within the STEM field and possibly take advantage of using the summer programs we've shown you and trying to advance your own skills within these fields and find your own interests that you could use throughout your life and possibly advance your own profession and take advantage of your own career within STEM. And use the different opportunities that are available to you, such as the STEM clubs like robotics and coding and science fair that Caden previously mentioned. These clubs are your first steps and introductions into the different fields and able to learn your interests and what you find to be important within STEM. And they can have a big difference in the future because STEM is very important to the current. And basically, through this presentation, we're just trying to show you that STEM is one of the most important fields within education and gives you the most opportunity out of all the other fields that could be taken within education, since STEM is growing much more rapidly than the other ones. And we want everyone to challenge themselves in order to find their own interests and find what makes them want to learn more about the world, since these STEM fields can help you solve these problems that we see every day in everyday life. And I know for me, currently I'm enrolled in the engineering program, so I'll show you guys our portfolio, which I've been using throughout my high school career, and it's a demonstration of our own um, engineering and my interest in the STEM field. So here's my engineering portfolio. This is from the Principles of Engineering that I did last year, where we built our own simple machines and helped us learn the initial skills that we need to use in order to work as a team and develop our own designs. So this machine here on the right is a compound machine, which means it involves different simple mechanics, such as the gear and sprocket and the gear chain here, which rotates the. This is supposed to be a ceiling fan, so this will rotate the ceiling fan. And these chances and courses within high school are your first steps and in order to advance in the STEM field. Additionally, I could show the projects we've been working on in digital electronics with where we're learning to build circuits and develop the more electrical aspect of engineering. So within the sorry, it's loading here. But within the electrical engineering, we work with breadboards a lot, where we develop circuits with wiring and the whole topic of using a breadboard to create a circuit to solve a task. And yeah, I'll try to show this if it loads. But basically, these projects are used to develop our skills in um, electrical engineering, especially with the use of circuits. And circuits are important to developing the more like long distance resolution to problems, since circuits are done at a much smaller scale than physically getting them done. So here was our date of birth circuit, where we were trying to show our personal date of birth by using a 7-segment display. And within this project, we used an online software to initially create the circuit, to which we then used to transfer onto a physical circuit. And this whole process is essential to building the skills and develop the knowledge of the engineering process itself, as you were able to problem solve within the software, where you could imagine building this physically, and it develops the understanding of what it takes to build with one another and solve these problems that you may come across.
Okay, so can you present the slideshow again, going back? Yeah, so now we're gonna have a Q&A question. If there's any questions you have about, career pathways in STEM or college or just anything in general in the field of STEM, just please unmute and ask.
Okay, so I have a question. My name is Ethan.
All right, so go ahead, Ethan.
Um, so I was wondering, like, what do you guys think the best AP classes are to go into STEM, right? Because I know there's a ton of STEM AP classes and AP fields, as you guys were talking about, with like physics and chemistry. What do you guys think the best ones that lead into a STEM field are?
Yeah, so from personal experience, it really depends on what type of major you want to go into. So for example, if you want to go into more, chemistry, or you want to research in more into like medical field, right? Definitely, you should definitely take some AP classes that relate to pre-med. For example, I would give the suggestion to take AP biology, AP chemistry, and AP calculus because those classes are really good for a field into medical. But for example, if you want to go more into engineering, then I would definitely recommend taking AP physics, AP calculus, or AP Physics 1 and 2, or just any AP math or science classes that are offered more on the engineering side.
I would suggest that if you're going to any STEM field, you want to take AP math classes as well. As Kaden was saying, he was talking about calculus, but you guys might not think that math is like so important if you're going like pre-med or something, but AP math classes are definitely very important to consider taking if you're going on a science route.
Awesome, thank you.
I have another question. My name is Shanmuk, and I was asking, like, how would taking STEM classes in high school help you in college and in a STEM career overall?
Yeah, so we kind of talked about this a little bit in the presentation, but first of all, taking AP classes in high school actually help you bypass some classes that you have to take in college. So, for example, AP calculus actually helps you bypass some first or second year math requirements of colleges. So, essentially, in college, you wouldn't have to take those classes because you already took it in high school. And that allows you to save both time and money because you can, in terms of those classes, you can put other classes you're interested in instead of taking those general education requirements. And that, allows you to sometimes even graduate early. And on top of that, other than AP classes, Frankie can touch a little bit on this, but like engineering programs or engineering classes actually help you learn real world, skills that you can use in college.
Yeah, so again, those real world skills are definitely built, but also in the STEM classes, you learn foreign concepts that you will apply into your later education. So, like in my digital electronics class, I learned a lot about circuitry, a lot about all that I will definitely use in a later class. Like I'm not going into college no clueless. I will have that step into that field. So like it helps you build the skills and it helps you get an idea of what your career is going to look like.
I think that STEM education in particular is very useful when it comes to your everyday lives. Like for example, even if you don't want to major in a STEM field, or even if your career pathway doesn't have anything to do with STEM, this STEM education really helps foster many different skills, including creativity, collaboration, and problem solving, which you can apply to everyday life and just any subject or career that you plan to take in the future. It doesn't even have to be STEM, but the benefits of STEM education are there. So that's what you're asking.
Thanks for answering my question. And I just had another question, like, what made you want to go into STEM, like, as a future STEM student? Like, how could I like get that interest to go into a STEM field?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, kind of our pathways to being interested in STEM are kind of varied. For example, Zoe might be more interested in research side of things, while Francisco might be interested in aerospace engineering. So the fields of STEM is so wide that kind of like the background behind each of those is very different. So we can probably each touch on like our personal journey through STEM. So for me personally, I actually was not interested in engineering at first. I actually wanted to go into, computer science more because kind of the reasoning behind that was probably video games because I wanted to be like a video game engineer and I saw like coding and just those were kind of interesting to me. But, as time went on, I started looking more into the job opportunities associated with each STEM field, which is kind of the large reason of why we encourage you guys to go to college because it provides you with, the necessary qualifications and allows you to go into a good job, good career with good, financial income. So for me, I saw that the computer science job market started becoming more oversaturated, which is why I wanted to go more into engineering. And I also found that I actually liked engineering more. And the main reason I decided to go into this was actually through, classes I took in high school, as well as after school programs, such as, science fair club, where I did computed in engineering, or even, our engineering program, our robotics team, or even a competition called Skills USA. These all, provided me with not only necessary classes and qualifications to go into engineering in the future, but also solidified my passion for field of engineering. And I think all of us can like touch a little bit on this topic.
I think if you're asking about how you find your own passion to which STEM field you're interested in, I find that the more you learn about something, the more passionate or interested you get about it. So I think that you should just expose yourself to a variety of different STEM fields, physics, engineering, chemistry, biology, all of them, and learn a lot about all of them just to see what you personally like because like you might just be focused on engineering, but you might not realize that you might actually find chemistry more interesting. So I would just say expose yourself to all the different fields of STEM.
Yeah, to like kind of go what Kaden was saying is like at first I felt really pressured to be an engineer because I mentioned this earlier, my entire family, I'm surrounded by engineers. But one day I watched Interstellar, which is a great movie by the way, but that movie really helped me find my passion and like piqued my interest in space, and that helped me find my passion that so I could strive to become an aerospace engineer. So my advice to you and anyone who wants to pursue a STEM career is find something that you really love, that you're so passionate about, and really find a way that you could apply yourself in STEM by pursuing this passion because again STEM is so broad. You're going to find a place for yourself in STEM. So really don't stray from your interests. Do what you love, but find it there is a way in STEM for you to do what you love.
Yeah, and I have to agree with what Zoe said. Like getting involved in the various activities that are offered within school is like the early access you need to find your personal interests. Like for me, it started in eighth grade science Olympiad when I was first introduced to engineering topics when we had to build like a catapult. And this like was my first introduction to engineering and the whole process of building something and having problems and trying to resolve them and improve the build. And the whole process was really interesting to me. And I would have never discovered that if I hadn't taken or done this club in the first place. So just being able to get out of your comfort zone and get involved with things that you don't normally do is like the best way in order to learn what you want to do and what you want to pursue when you take or go further into STEM fields in the future.
Yeah, feel free to ask any more questions if you guys have any.
Uh, is my microphone on?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So if I'm interested in like going into like the biomedical field, if I want to be like a doctor or someone who works in a lab, what AP classes or just like courses should I take?
Yeah, so, like Zoe mentioned before, I would recommend you definitely try to take as many science APs as possible. Since you mentioned you want to do biomedical engineering, that's like at the intersection of, being a doctor and being an engineer, right? So you could definitely take, AP biology classes, take chemistry, definitely try to take math, calculus classes if that's possible with you. And, in terms of clubs or other experiences, I would definitely say try to join, for example, Science Olympiad. You could join Science Fair. You could join even clubs that focus more on being doctors, such as, the Doctors of Tomorrow Club, which is something that introduces you to both the medical field. And since you mentioned you want to be an engineer as well, I could recommend you to take, engineering classes at your school.
Thank you for answering.
Yeah, of course. Is there any more questions? I think we can definitely do one more.
So if there's not any more questions, we can move on. So I just wanted to introduce a short interactive STEM activity that you could do on your own time or with teams. So there are various STEM activities that help model the real world, and these all help foster creativity, collaboration, and problem solving. So we just wanted to introduce this particular activity, in which teams can compete to build a tall and stable tower using spaghetti and marshmallows. Alternatively, you could also use paper and tape. So how is this STEM activity related to the real world? Well, this STEM activity in particular is very connected to engineering. So engineering is very beneficial to the everyday lives of us. The infrastructure and the environment built, including roads, cars, and bridges all around us, are all from engineering. The computers, our phones, all the technological innovations that are used are all created by engineering research. But engineering is also very broad. Like there are other topics that include chemical engineering, environmental engineering, or biomedical engineering. For example, researchers might synthesize new molecules. Engineering can also include creating systems. For example, in the example of environmental engineering, they can create systems to rid of toxins found in water. So this is just one example of how of a STEM activity that can help foster innovation connected to a real world application.
Yeah, so to kind of go off, so this whole, meeting and this workshop was actually is going to be recorded and posted to YouTube to go over, and we actually prepared some documents and PDFs of resources such as the scholarship pages or even the summer learning programs in STEM that Zoe mentioned before. And we will be linking both the PDFs of those opportunities as well as the recording of this meeting and the slideshow onto YouTube. And we actually have a advocacy account which we post, information and statistics on, foster students and their pursuit in STEM education through our Instagram, which is Fostering Scholars Initiative. So we will be publishing the link to this recording and hopefully helping as many, foster students as possible around the country. So be sure to, check that out. Or if you want to access this recording of this workshop in the future, you can definitely check it through the Instagram. So, thank you for attending this workshop. Yeah, if it's possible with everyone, we would like everyone to fill out a post-workshop survey, which is a Google form, to kind of help us, understand how we did on this workshop or to help us understand what we can do better in the future. So, either scan the QR code or the form, if you're able to, and fill out the survey. We can probably leave this slide on for a little bit. And if there's any additional questions, feel free to ask them right now as well.
I also have, like a quick question to ask, like, what how important is like higher education, like college or like graduate school for STEM careers?
So that really depends on what career you have. So I know some majors such as computer science or engineering, they tend to just do a 4-year college education and go into the workforce. They generally also are higher demand. But for example, what I want to do, for example, I want to be a researcher. If you want to be a researcher, professor, or pursue any type of higher, or not necessarily higher, but these all anything that will require a master's or PhD, generally you have to go to grad school to do that. But yeah, so it really varies within the STEM fields. If you anytime you want a higher education, you should just keep going and pursue a master's or PhD, but in most of the STEM fields, that's not required.
Yeah, but like Zoe said, gaining a master's or a PhD after your 4-year degree actually has a lot of benefits. For example, some fields actually require you to have a PhD. For example, if you want to be a professor, you actually need to get your doctorate. Or if you want to be a doctor, at like Kaiser Permanente, for example, you actually need to go into medical school, which is another 4 years after, the initial undergraduate. So the kind of length of college and how much you want to pursue after your 4 year really depends on the field, but we would encourage you to, match your personal experience, personal interest and situation and kind of decide off of that, if you want to go into post undergrad. And another thing is that if you are trying to obtain your PhD or doctorate degree, it actually increases, your salary, after obtaining that degree. So that also is another reason why some people might want to pursue a PhD. But yeah, great question.
And to further build on that, due to it, you also get increase in salary, like Ken said, but also some organizations and some companies that you may work for will actually pay for you to pursue your to pursue your master's or your doctor's degree. So definitely look into your field, look into what possible job choices you have, and see if they offer paying for your secondary education.
Yeah, so if everyone is able to fill out the post-workshop survey, then I think that will conclude this workshop. If there's any more questions, feel free to comment it on the YouTube video of this recording. And yeah, it was a great time having this workshop. Thank you everyone for attending. If you are a Foster student watching this workshop, feel free to, reach out to us if you have any questions or just want any resources or anything we can do to help you pursue higher education. Feel free to reach out to us on our Instagram or our YouTube, which we will post this recording on. So that will conclude this workshop. Thank you everyone for coming. It was a very great experience, exploring the wonders of STEM with everyone here. So